Hey guys, here we are for another episode of the Bavarian Basstalk. And this happens now during the Bavarian Bassdays. They started yesterday. We had an amazing concert in the evening going on today until tomorrow. And since a while I set up a series of videos to get a source of knowledge, of experience of bass players from all over the place to share with everyone out there. And here I'm sitting with Steve Bailey. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Steve Bailey is like one of the most outstanding electric bass player, head of the department on the Berklee College of Music in Boston. Did I say it right?
Yes, that'll do.
And my first question is, like, Steve, you came here 2 days ago. I picked you up from the airport, 8 in the morning. You still had all the day, and I felt already when you arrived here, you are full of energy, even without sleeping before. And you go running, practicing, and then you came into the lessons, and yeah, you've been there with full power, and I really adore it. How do you do it?
Oh, did you say something? I'm around my people, our people. Our people are bass players, and so when you're around people that we all have the same interests and we're excited about things, and I'm excited to be here to teach, but I'm also excited, given the level of instructors you have, I'm excited to be here to learn. So I do have energy, and I'll crash eventually, but it'll be after I leave here, and maybe on the flight back home I'll sleep some. But you know, the overall vibe here, and I've never been around students so young who are so amazing. The kids playing the mini basses. It's inspiring to see that, and it's inspiring to see the parents bringing them here and see kids that age excited about the bass and not football or video games or whatever. But they probably do that too. But they love playing the bass, and that's exciting.
And like, I know you've been in Germany a couple of times before, but here in the festival you are for the first time.
Yes.
So how would you describe, on one hand, the difference between what we are doing here and what you are doing in the United States? Also, what we have in common? And maybe a third question: if you come back, or when you come back, how would you describe your colleagues or any people the festival?
Yeah, that's all good. I mean, I've been doing bass camps. We started the first one with Victor Wooten in the United States in the year 1999 or 2000, so almost 20 years. We're entering our 20th full year of doing them. So we've had a lot of experience with it. We know we've experienced many times the same energy that you feel here when you bring so many and bass players are different. We are different. You out there, if you're a bass player, you're different. There's something about it. I've been around a bunch of guitar players, and there's a competitive spirit, and there's all of that, and been around drummers, but bass players have a unique kind of family relationship. So I'm just excited to be here with that, and what I'll take back is that excitement, because what makes this different is that I've never been around so many double basses.
Okay.
And I mean, double bass is my passion, and that's what I went through college with, and I still love playing it, and I love teaching it. But to see so many great ones, especially with the bow and playing the literature and the classical technique, and having, Francois Rabath here, who's like one of the few living legends in bass education. I mean, that's what I'll tell people, and they'll go, no. And I go, well, no, I've got pictures to prove it. And they had the electric 6-string fretless player from Obscure, which is a killer, thrash metal band, and no, not thrash, I'm sorry, that's the wrong, I'm going to get in trouble for that, because metal players, as I know many, take it very seriously. Death metal, sorry, my obscure fans out there. But that's what I'll tell people. It was very diverse. It was, the staff is amazing. The people you have working with you are people you stay friends with. You just stay friends because you have something in common. And so that's what I'll tell people. And if I come back, I'll certainly have that to be excited about, knowing that you're kind of creating a monster situation over here, if you know what I mean. And it really is. It's like a family vibe, and people, I love to see people come together who they've known each other a long time. So I'm the new person. I'm the new guy in the family, the stepchild, and fitting in with everybody. It's just very comfortable.
It's just when you said it, I was surprised by myself to have that range of styles, like a death metal band.
Yeah.
Mini bass players, 5 years. Jazz, electric bass, jazz, double bass.
And there's a jazz group from Mexico.
Seniors also. Yeah, and we have.
And you got kids 8 years old, and I've got a guy in my class who's 67 and is a beginner on the electric bass.
Everything is possible, and all that shows like how versatile is that instrument. It makes it more and more visible.
Yeah.
How many styles we can do on that, and
we get excited about the bass. Anybody out there get excited about the bass? I know you do.
And changing the topic a little bit, you played an amazing solo concert yesterday.
Thank you.
And I felt it is a little bit contrasting with, no, not just a little bit, it's contrasting with all the, or many other electric bass players. When you have 4 bars of this or that cool groove of that, and you're accompanied by a computer or any other thing, but it's rare to have a real solo music that is maybe also written, maybe not improvised also, but really written electric bass solo music where you can go on stage, especially also students or amateur band. You have your piece, man, I'm there and this is my piece and I can do it on my own.
Yeah.
Maybe also next time with a guitar player, but also something that I go on stage and I have my piece.
Yeah, the bass. Most people who don't play bass, and a lot of people who do play bass, it has one role, one job, and that's to play the bass part under the band, the harmony or whatever. But what you are helping the world understand, and what hopefully many of us try to do, is to make people aware that even if it's got 4 strings, 5 strings, 6 strings, 3 strings, 7 strings, 12, whatever, it's a complete instrument. It is capable of doing our job, playing the bass. It's also capable of harmony, it's capable of melody, and it's capable of special effects and dynamics, and that's my goal. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember I was learning some chord voicings on a 4-string bass, and I thought one day I want to be able to accompany a singer, just bass and vocals, and make it beautiful, make it full, and that was a real goal of mine. Yeah. Number one, because if there's only 2 of you, you split the money only 2 ways. You don't have to pay a drummer, but the real reason was I thought the bass could do all of that, and that was at an early age. And in my life, I've had the chance to do that, and much more with many different people. In fact, my new album, this just will be released after the first of the year, are all duets, and many of them with singers. Finally, I get that childhood dream to record with just vocals and great singers, So I think the bass is a full range instrument. I prefer not to use loopers, although I'll use them occasionally, but I don't use them as a performance for a basis for my performance, because I like to be able to do it all with my hands. I mean, you heard what you guys and Maestro Rabath, the arco, the rhythms they were getting with arco. I mean, we do that on the bass too, and make it electric bass and make it a complete musical statement. It's not missing anything.
Yeah, and you agree with, like, it would be a good goal for the future to arouse people to compose solo pieces for the electric bass.
Yeah,
Right?
I mean, the place was full last night.
Yeah.
I mean, this is,
There is
I've
an
never
audience
been
for that.
to this town, and I was so blown away that there was an audience and the place was packed with people listening to solo bass players. Wow. Good for you.
Yeah. And for the future, like you said, you do an album. That's just crossing my mind. Next time we have to record a duo song also.
Yeah, yeah.
And for the future Bavarian Bass Days, or any bass days around the world, what do you think is the major goal to reach or to take out of this to recommend to other institutions?
Well, I would just, you can ask anybody if they're open-minded, and almost everybody will say, yes, I'm open-minded, I'm open for anything. But you find many institutions that say they're open-minded, but then when it comes to like a group of 4 bass players playing Deep Purple, they're not that open-minded. My hope is that when they hear it, then their minds go, oh, okay, now I see what you mean. Because, you know, many classical musicians, many jazz musicians, we're all stuck in where it used to be. And all it takes is just hearing maybe something like I did, maybe something like you guys did, to wake people up and go, wow, let's do that. Let's take the Bass Monsters on the road and do a college tour, or do whatever, or go out and do solo concerts. I think more and more with the internet, where people can see the potential and see what is actually possible on this, and people like Victor Wooten and Edgar Meyer on the double bass who have taken it to that level of getting people to realize, wait a minute, it's not just them.
Yeah.
We can do that too, and those 8-year-old kids that are playing the mini bass will be doing that, and they're growing up in it. It seems normal to them. Well, yeah, solo bass. I heard this old guy, Steve Bailey, years ago do that, and anybody can do that. And this guy's just going crazy, and that's what we want. We want them to think that it's normal, not something special. It's just normal, and then they go on and make something special, which is even more amazing. You know, it's special now, but I want it to be normal, and then special goes higher.
For me, that's the challenge. The main challenge, like Professor Dorin Mark was also there, and I remember when we met in Lucca for the Bass Europe, and I asked him, what do you think? I mean, double bass is always getting more and better and better. He said, it's always going on.
Yeah.
And this is an interesting thought also, here or there.
Yeah.
And the way we go on, I always feel like it's important to do it together,
Yeah.
Because we don't need like nationality for an instrument. Everyone is speaking the same language on that, and we can understand each other no matter where I sit in Germany, you in the US, and the next one sits in China or something.
Yeah.
And it's always like we communicate in a positive way.
Right.
And this is like, I want to finish this conversation. I thank you so much, Steve Bailey, for being here.
My pleasure.
For
Thank you for
sharing
bringing this to the classical world, and thank you for exposing me to some amazing stuff that I'll take back with me and hopefully learn a lot from.
I'm so happy to hear that. Thank you.